What's happening, Free Game? We are coming to you live.
But not live.
From here at Tesco Extra, where we are asking the question, is it worth buying in bulk at regular supermarkets?
Yes, guys, you have seen how we save money buying in bulk online and in places like Costco and Rogers. But today we are hitting a regular supermarket to see if it is actually worth buying in bulk in a regular store.
And can it really save us a lot of money? Let's get in store and find out. So starting off with fruit and veg, I don't know if you get a lot of fruit and veg which is in a bulk amount.
Also, it's probably not worth buying a lot of fruit and veg in bulk because, you know, it might go off quicker.
It depends if you've got a big family or there's certain things you use a lot. For example, if they did a huge 2-kilogram bag of easy peelers, that would be worth it for us. However, there are a few things that keep for a bit longer than others, like potatoes, onions as well.
Yes.
So that could be worth it for a bulk buy.
And in some stores, you can get a big sack of potatoes, like a big paper bag of potatoes. I know Lidl do them, and it works out a lot cheaper.
So 2 kilograms seems to be the biggest amount of potatoes that they do, and the cheapest that they seem to have are all-rounder ones for £1.35 for 2 kilograms. So that works out just over 60p per kilogram, whereas the individual ones are 79p per kilogram. So the bulk might actually be better for that. However, they do have 4 baking potatoes for 79p, which is more than the per kilogram price for the individual ones. So that would probably be the better option.
Okay, carrots are a fresh food that keeps for a while. The biggest amount is here, 79p for 1.5 kilogram.
And it tells you the price is 52.7p per kilogram.
Yeah, which is this one.
And then compare that with an individual carrot, 69p per kilogram. So bulk would be a better choice there.
Should we grab some of those? It's only 79p.
That's really good.
That's definitely worth it. Toilet paper, I know it's not a food item, but you find it is normally worth buying a bigger pack. For example, for these 4 toilet papers, it's £1.35.
Which works out 15.3 per 100 sheets.
Or you can get 12 of these ones. However, it does say double rolls, so you get double the amount in each roll.
Yeah, and the overall price is £8.25, but it does tell you per 100 sheets it's 15.6p, which is a little bit more.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because normally it's cheaper to get the more. However, if you buy their very, very, very basic, absolutely cheapest essential range toilet paper, it's £2.29 for 6, but these are, you get 400 sheets per roll, so it's works out, can you see it?
9.5p per 100 sheets. That's the cheapest by far.
That is absolutely the cheapest.
Now, chips is something you do get in varying quantities, isn't it?
Yeah.
Small bags and very big bags. Like, yeah, you see these extra big bags as well. All bird's eye potato waffles. You've got the 10 waffles box, £2.35, or £3.50, but now down to £3 for 18. So that works out £3.43 per kilogram versus £4.18 per kilogram. But the offer makes it even lower, £2.94 per kilogram. So yeah, that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, as long as you've got the space in your freezer.
Even cheaper than that though is the Tesco own brand ones, £1.59 for 12, and that's £2.34 per kilogram.
Okay, these are some of our favourites and they are so quick and handy to do. They're kind of ready-baked McCain jacket potatoes, and they're normally, you can get them on offer from time to time for £3. But if you get the bigger pack, yeah, it's double the amount for only £5.30, although it is on offer for £4.50 at the moment on club card price, which makes it even cheaper.
Yeah, £2.81 per kilogram compared to the 4, which is £4.63 per kilogram.
Yeah.
So that's a much better deal.
I think we can't leave them there for that, Bob. We have to get some. They've got 2 different size packs of these Richmond sausages, a 12-pack or an 8-pack, and it turns out in this case it's not worth buying in bulk because the smaller pack is £1.75, which works out £5.76 per kilogram. The 12-pack is £6.03 per kilogram. So in this case, it's not worth buying in bulk. It's worth getting the smaller pack. This is why it's always important to look at the price per kilogram. Another way you can buy in bulk is when you find offers, which they have some really good offers on these cheeses that we buy sometimes, get a few of them while they're on offer, as long as they keep for a while, which these normally do.
So we're talking about specifically multi-buy offers, aren't we, where you buy more to get the offer?
Yeah, exactly. So these are 2 for $4.50.
Normally on their own would be $2.30.
But it's good to get more. If you've got the money and you've got space to store them and you know you're going to use them, it's worth stocking up on offers. So it's another way of buying in bulk.
Okay, continuing with the multi-buy offers and taking advantage of it, this whole plant-based section is a 3 for 2 on absolutely everything. You can see the yellow signs everywhere. So that's basically getting one item for free.
Wow, that's really good, because these are normally £9 and they're actually £8, and you get one for free if you buy 3 of them. Wow, this one's jackpot, guys, because not only it's better to buy in bulk, because per kilogram, the smaller one is $8.21 per kilogram, the XL one is $7.78, but also it's on the 3 for 2 offer. So it's like bulk buying and offers at the same time. So it's offer stacking.
This is interesting, guys. We've just seen this with this brand of flour, Atkinson's. You can get the 1 kilogram for $1.70, but you can get 3 times as much for only double the price.
So it's definitely worth getting this one to save money.
However, if you're not bothered about the brand's flour and you just want a store brand one, you can get 1.5 kilogram for only 75p, which is clearly a better offer.
Most people love peanut butter, so this is a great one to do. So if you buy the small Pip and Nut, which is a branded peanut butter product, it's $3.25 for 300 grams, which works out £1.08 per 100 grams. However, if you get the big tubs like we get, at the moment it's on offer. Normally it's £7, but it's only $5.75 at the moment, which is almost half price, 58p per 100 grams. However, if you're not bothered about branded products and you just want the cheapest, it is better to go for their Essentials brand, which is Stockwell, and it is only 29.1p per 100 grams.
Oh, Weetabix. So £2 is their smallest pack, where you get 12 in there. Works out 16.7p each. That's per biscuit, yeah. But if you go to their family pack, which is on offer, and there's 48 in there, 4 times as much, it's 11.5p each. Oh, actually it's on offer, so it's 9p each. However, Tesco's own style of wheat biscuits, 24 of them, works out 7.9p per biscuit.
And this one's even cheaper. It doesn't say how much it is per biscuit, but it must be cheaper.
Because it's $1.20 for 24 biscuits.
Yeah, so that must be even cheaper than that one.
We are starting to notice a pattern emerging, guys. It seems that with the branded items, buying in bulk does seem to be better, but you still get better value if you find the store brand item.
And we're talking like the Essentials item. Right, the nation's favourite, tea, and I think especially PG Tips is one of the nation's favourites.
Yeah, $1.70 for 40 bags, works out $1.47 per 100 grams. What's it they saying for the big box? $5.25, 86p per 100 grams. So yeah, again, another clear example where buying it in bulk is the better option.
Let's see if they do an Essentials tea bags. Okay, they do an Essentials tea bags.
And that's 90p, works out 45p per 100 grams, much cheaper.
We just noticed they've got 20% off all free from ranges. Everything in this free from aisle is 20% off. So this would be a great time to buy in bulk and stock up, especially if you're gluten-free, because it can be really expensive to get gluten-free products, especially bread. So good time to stock up.
So this is actually interesting. With the rice, there seems to be different bulk amounts with non-branded products, with just store brand. So basmati, $1.80 for a kilogram bag, works out £1.80 per kilogram, no maths needed there. However, if you want to get a 4 kilogram bag, it's £1.79, so only a penny cheaper to get a bulk item.
This is like one of the best brands of rice that is out there. It's £3 for 500 grams, works out £6 per kilogram. However, if you buy double the amount, if you get the kilogram, it works out $4.40 per kilogram. So this is better. However, if white rice is just white rice, you're not bothered about basmati or anything like that, you just want the basic rice, then this is absolutely the cheapest, 52p per kilogram.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. If you have a preference of, if you notice a difference between branded foods or the store brand ones, I personally notice a difference with basmati and long grain rice.
I prefer basmati. I think it tastes better, doesn't it?
We just have to apologise as well, guys, about there's quite loud music playing here in Tesco's. They're trying to turn this place into a nightclub, I swear. However, down the world foods aisle, you get even larger amounts of bulk rice packs. Up to 10 kilograms are these ones? Yeah, 10 kilograms for £19. This is a brand as well, Layla, very prestige brand when it comes to rice. £1.90 per kilogram. So even that is not better than the long grain rice. But again, you're talking about basmati versus long grain.
What I find with Tesco's, they've always got one of these big bags on offer.
Yeah, like this one's £14 today.
Yeah, they've got one down here that's actually been cleared out because it was only...
Oh, no, there's a few at the back.
Oh, they have some, okay.
And that's £15, works out £1.50 per kilogram. So really, between the basic range rice, it's whether or not you like basmati or long grain.
What about this one? £12.50.
£1.25 per kilogram.
Yeah, that's a premium brand. It actually says premium basmati. I don't think we've tried this one.
But this is interesting. The Tilda one, this is everyday rice, which you maybe might think is similar to long grain rice. 4 kilogram bag, £5.80, £1.45 per kilogram. So yeah, if you like your long grain, the single bag's a better option. But if you like your basmati, probably bulk is better.
If you like basmati like we do, this is a great offer. £1.25 per kilogram. I cannot leave it there for that. Okay, this is something we buy frequently, and it's olives. It's £1.35 for 340 grams, works out 71.1p per 100 grams. But if you get the bigger jar, it's £2.80 and it works out 47.1p per 100 grams.
But one thing you have to factor in is how much you value each jar that you will inevitably keep. Do you value this jar more than this one?
This one, I use these jars. I love these jars. When people come to my house to eat, I give people food in these jars to take home with them. I use these for everything. It's a winner for me because of the jar as well. And I don't think they do a cheaper version. I don't think they do like an essentials version of
No, that's
this.
pretty much it. So pasta is something that you actually have an option to buy in bulk here in Tesco.
Yeah, but quite
big
a
bags.
big bag actually.
How much is that? That's 3 kilograms for £3.80, £1.27 per kilogram. What would it be if you compared that with their smallest fusilli, which is a kilogram bag?
Yeah. I'm not going to compare it with this one because this is quick cook fusilli, so it's slightly different.
This one is £1.29, matching with Aldi, makes it £1.29 per kilogram. So the bulk one is slightly better by 2p.
However, if you're not bothered about your shape of pasta, which mostly we're not that bothered, you can get penne for 41p, 82p per kilogram, or even cheaper, you can get spaghetti for 28p or 56p per kilogram. Talked about this a lot, guys, so we don't need to go over it too much, but buying spices in the world food aisle is by far the best way. So you buy them in bulk, as long as you're going to use them all.
Because in comparison, the store will do these little small 150 gram jars or something.
Yeah, which works out overall a lot more expensive. If you're not going to use it all, I'd say it is better to get those small ones. But if you know you're going to use all of this, and I've just realised, Bob, they've got loads on reduced. Look.
Coriander seeds.
Oh yeah, I love coriander seeds. I can't leave them there for that. They're only £1.31 for 300 grams. They've got cumin powder and ground coriander as well, both in bulk. They seem like quite small packets, but they're a lot bigger than those.
You only use a tiny bit every time, don't you?
I can't leave them there for that. And there's some other things. What's that?
Green lentils?
I don't think I need lentils at the moment. But yeah, they've got loads of reduced things. What's this? £1.57 reduced to clear. Crushed chilies. I think we have these already, don't we?
Yeah, but those are some good finds.
Yeah. We mentioned flour earlier down the other aisle, but here they do huge sacks of flour.
Yeah, up to 10 kilograms. Looking like the best price is £7.50. Works out 75p per kilogram. This is chapati flour or atta flour. I'll be honest, I don't know what the difference is between that and, say, wheat flour.
Yeah.
If you do know free game, you could help us out.
Yeah, I think you can make flatbreads with this flour, but I'm not sure what else. Can you use it as regular flour? That's what I'd
what's
like
it
to know.
contain? What's it made from?
Yeah, if you like branded cereals, these big boxes I think are always better value, and they're actually on offer at the moment for these huge boxes, £2.85, £3.75. However, it is a lot cheaper to get the store browned cornflakes if you're not bothered about them tasting slightly different. It's really interesting, guys. We never ever buy pot noodles in these 4-packs, because for this 4-pack it is £4.20
That works out £1.05
each pot noodle, and they're just the regular size ones as well. But most places you can pick up pot noodles for 75p or round
£1 or less?
Yeah, so it always ends up cheaper. They've always got offers on the individual ones. So for us, it's always better to just get the individual ones and just find where the offers are.
Oh, of course, we've got to explore bulk offers on the beans, because you can get the individual tin, £1 for Branston, or you can get a 4-pack for £3, which works out there 75p each then. And it's probably the same for Heinz as well.
One tin of beans is £1.40 or 2 for £2. They work out £1. But if you get this pack, it's £5, so it works out cheaper to get the pack.
Well, they do have a multi-buy offer here as well on the beans and sausages.
JoJo asked me to get these.
Well, he's lucky they're on a bulk offer then. So normally £2 each. So to buy 3 would normally cost you £6, but you can get them for £4.50. That's really good.
So that's these ones, guys, that they have sausages in them.
So 3 of those for £4.50 means they work out £1.50 each, saving 50p per can. My maths is on fire today.
However, while we're on the subject of beans,
You're going to ruin the whole brand thing again, aren't you?
It is cheaper to get their store brand ones, £1.60 for 4.
Works out 40p each.
However, if you're on a really tight budget and you're not bothered about how the beans taste, sometimes the cheaper ones can actually be really nice. We've tried a few different ones, haven't
We've
we?
tried quite a few different
Yeah,
beans.
they're actually quite nice.
You tend to like Branston. What would you say about a brand compared to these ones?
I think they're okay. Branston's just really nice and saucy and sweet. But yeah, if you're not bothered, then 28p for 1 can.
So even though we noticed a pattern where the absolute cheapest basic essentials brand, like these chopped tomatoes, 45p, these are tending to be the cheapest, we've actually found an exception to this, because their next range up, another Tesco's range, Italian chopped tomatoes, 4 of those are 180, which actually works out 45p per tin as well. So you could, in that case, choose either one, presuming that these ones are actually supposed to be better quality ones. It might be a better option. Here we are with olive oil, Katie.
I'm just hoping that they do a really good one in bulk. They're all more or less the same size, these ones, except for that one's a bit bigger.
This brand's got multiple ones, hasn't it?
So for the small one, it's £4.50, 250 mils. It works out £1.80 per 100 mils.
But then the biggest one down here, £12.60, a whole litre, which is £1.26 per 100 mils.
Yeah, okay.
But they've got a few in between ones.
That's £1 per 100 mils, this one.
Oh, okay.
That's £1.
So these middle ones are actually better value because they're on Club Card. So in this situation, it wouldn't be better to buy in bulk, or even the smallest one. It's better to go with the offer for the middle items. Bulk buying snacks really is only ever done at Rogers, but let's see what we can find here.
Well, they've got actually a double pack of rich tea is £3.20.
Which is 53.3p per 100 grams.
However, they do have the same brand rich tea. These are slightly different though. So, they've got less sugar in them. For £1.35, so that actually works out cheaper than buying them in bulk. However, if you come down to Tesco own brand, they are only 55p for a pack.
Yeah, works out 16p per 100 grams.
They're all the same sizes, they're all the same, so it's easy to do the comparison. So to me, I don't know if you guys are the same, but rich tea biscuits tend to taste the same. And digestives as well, don't they?
Especially if you're dipping them in a cup of tea.
Don't drop them in the tea though.
Rich tea, they're one dips.
One dip.
In and out, quick.
Yeah.
Digestives are a better dipper though.
Yeah, you can get 2 dips out of digestives. They actually do a bulk pack as well, which is 2 packs for £3.20. And if you buy them individually, it's £1.90. So it's actually better to get the bulk pack in this case.
Yeah, because they're only 44p per 100 grams, whereas the single pack is 52.8.
Or jammy dodgers. You can get a good few dips out of a jammy dodger.
Hobnobs as well.
Oh, good.
They're
tea
like the
dips.
Marines of tea dipping.
Yeah, although, just a side note, I begrudge paying, 90p for a pack of Jammy Dodgers after we found them for 39p in Home Bargains the other day. Gosh, apologies again for the music,
Some
guys.
serious saxophone music going on in here, guys. We're
Yeah.
just looking at the cream crackers, the Jacobs branded ones, 160 for their smaller pack, 53.3 for 100 grams, but double that.
If you get a twin pack, it's only £2.50.
Yeah, 41.7. However, you jump down to the store brand one, 49p, much better price.
And to be honest, I would probably buy these because I probably wouldn't know the difference.
No, they actually have different bulk amounts of crisps. They have like a 6-pack of different Walkers ones, £1.50, and that's on offer. It works out £1 per 100 grams. They also have a 12-pack one, not on offer, £2.99, but still cheaper, 99.7 per 100 grams, cheaper than the offer. But go even bigger, and they've got a box of 20 crisps.
That is a big box of crisps. I mean, we can get crisps like this from Rogers for a lot cheaper.
And this 20 box is £4.85, works out 97p per 100 grams. So that is the best value, only by a couple of pence.
So that works out cheaper.
Yeah,
Not cheaper than Rogers though, so.
I mean, nothing's going to be cheaper than Rogers. Yet again, however, that is the word of the day, 85p for the Tesco Basic Range Variety Pack, and works out 56.7p per 100 grams. If you don't know the difference between these and Walkers, and there are only 3 flavours compared to the 4 flavours that Walkers had, then that is the best option.
Oh, ketchup, that's a good one. Wow, £4 for the big tomato ketchup. So it works out 44p per 100 grams. And the smaller one is £2.30, which works out 67.3p per
So this big one, and not even just because it's on offer in general, is much better value. If you use your ketchup, it's worthwhile.
However,
But here we go again.
if you come down to here and you don't mind the cheaper one, a lot of people like Aldi's cheap one, don't they? I don't know if we've tried the Tesco's one though.
86p, 15.9p per 100 grams. Ketchup is one of those things though. I feel like people say they like their Heinz one, or
Yeah, everyone's got their favourites.
Okay, so at the beginning of this video, we asked the question, is it worth it buying in bulk at regular supermarkets? We only spent £42.
However,
We learnt something very interesting, and that is, for most things, it's better to buy in bulk if you want those branded products. But if you're on a tight budget and you're trying to save money and you're not bothered about the brands, it is actually better not to buy in bulk and just get the cheapest essential products.
we hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, you're going to love the next one up in the corner there. So go and watch that one next. Before you do, though, make sure you always stay free.
And just keep rising.